Yes, everybody, welcome to Stretford Paddock. My name is Stephen Howson. This is Howson's Brew. Joining us today, we have got Alex, and you're going, who's that guy? I've never seen that guy before. This is Aaron Molloy. Aaron is a player in the MLS. Aaron, do you want to tell everyone about yourself and tell them why you're on here? Because that's a bit of a tedious link in it for just a random MLS player to be rocking up on Howson's Brew. And hopefully everybody has got their brew, and I'll tell you all about my brew in a minute when we get a chance. Introduce yourself, Aaron.
Yeah, my name is Aaron Molloy. I'm from Dublin, Ireland, and I'm part of the Portland Timbers here in the States. And Alex gave me a text, asked me if I'd be on the podcast, and I jumped at it, being a big Man United fan, and here I am.
Right, and it's not just a simple case of like you two like got each other's numbers or anything like that.
No.
You actually know each other properly, don't you? From when he was shadowing,
I was in college in the States,
masquerading in the States.
I was fucking about in my working year. Aaron turned up at our little college for a year so my roommate was the coach, Alan. He was another lad from Dublin, brought Aaron over. He played for a year with us at Kaiser, and it was north of when I was there, but in West Palm. And then he got he moved on to Penn State and huge Div 1 school, so like massive there. Moved over there, and then obviously he did 3 years there. Yeah, played 3 years at Penn State, and then obviously got in the draft last year, didn't you? And then was it number 16 you went in this year?
Yeah, first round, 16th pick.
First round, 16th pick to the Portland Timber, which is I've tried to explain this, like for a lad that's not from America, I mean, if you were American, I've always said this, if you were American, where do you reckon you'd have gone? You must. I mean,
I've no idea. A couple of lads that actually work for the MLS said live on the show that if I was American, it'd be top 5. But I was very proud to go in the first round, and I think I was the first centre midfielder to be picked and the first international to be picked. So it was a huge honor for myself. Yeah.
So is it safe to say you're all right then? Is that what we're saying? You're not bad, is what we're saying?
Properly good. Like he's properly good.
What's the experience of the draft like? Because it's a continent-sized country, in it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any idea whatsoever where you're going before the draft? Are you like tapped up a little bit like, listen, if we get the nod, we're having you, or anything like that? Listen,
I thought I was. So like I was chatting to 8 MLS teams. Like you have interviews, phone calls, and you're thinking like, these seem really interested. I don't know about this. And what the funny thing was, I had 8 interviews, and not one of them was Portland. So the 16th pick comes around, and I'm about to head to the Jacks, go to the toilet, and just got a text off my agent saying ... could be Portland. So I sit back down, and it was funny because I had 2 laptops in front of me. I had my ma's side of my family and my dad's side of the family, both left to the right. And my dad's side of the family was 10 seconds ahead. So they're up shouting, screaming. They have no idea what's going on. They just heard me name, and I'm just there sitting with my girlfriend in Jersey, and I just like, it was a great feeling. But being able to experience it with my mom, my dad was something that I'll be able to remember forever.
Obviously, you're coming from a European mindset in terms of like transfers and recruitment and stuff like that. And the traditional route over here is you enter an academy as a boy, 8, 9, 10, 11 years old, 12 years old. You progress into the first team at 16. You probably go out on loan. A couple of years later, you make your debut for the first team. What's the hardest thing to wrap your head around doing it in the way you've done it?
The hardest thing is actually it's time management. Really, it's just your skill. Like you're in skill more. It's like a proper something that you've got to pay attention to, because if you don't pass your classes, if you don't meet a certain requirement of like certain amount of A's, a certain amount of B's, you're not eligible to play. So it's overwhelming sometimes having to keep up. Like you can't miss class. You got to be on top of things, and I think that would be something that I had to really sit down and think about and take seriously.
The draft was only recently as well, isn't it? Have you spent much time with your new teammates before we got locked down?
Yeah. So the draft was early January, and then within a week I was in Portland training with the team, and I was lucky enough to travel. We went to Costa Rica for 2 weeks, So 2 weeks in Costa Rica was fun, and so all the lads, there's a lot of South American lads, and they give me a little nickname because how pale I am, so they call me Colo. I think it means sunshine, or it means brightness, or something in Spanish. So I don't know, maybe someone will be able to translate, but got me nickname from being in Costa Rica, being a pale Irish lad.
Right, Al, dob him in. How do you know him?
How do I know him? I said he was at our uni, and him saying pale, him and another lad called Kegsy before, because they did pre-season in August in Florida is ridiculous anyway. Like the running and stuff the lads had to do, and I never did it because I didn't play, so it was but like 30 odd degree heat, 100% humidity, ridiculous. And you've seen Aaron, him turning up, him just plastering himself on with sun cream. Him and
three shades,
full on going for it or whatever.
Factor 50 with a paint roller.
With a paint roller kind of thing. But yeah, we did that. So I was kind of, it was a bit of, because I was still working at the uni and stuff. So right,
hang on. You've missed a massive part out here that people don't fully know about you. So you was in America on a scholarship yourself for sport, but it wasn't a normal sport like Aaron plays. It was a wanker sport, which is golf.
I was a wanker sport. I played golf.
Audience, did you even know that was a potential thing that you could even do? Because until I met Alex, it didn't even enter my mind that was a thing that could happen.
Yeah, so I went over playing golf, and I said I'd done my 4 years. So I played my sport, done my 4 years or whatever, and I was just blagging a living, trying to stay around it all. So I was working. So I was doing marketing for food services there, which just meant that I was bumming around campus doing nothing really. And I said just staying around and stuff. And yeah, it was good to, like, when Aaron come in, everyone was just kind of like, because the team the year before had struggled a bit, and then Alan got more involved, and Alan's kind of bringing in all these a couple of players and stuff. And he said, got a couple of lads from Dublin coming over who were half decent. I was like, oh, all right, okay. And then Aaron and Reese and Aaron turn up, and this team, like, Reese is good, Reese is decent, and there's a few good players in there, but Aaron just come in and just went. How old were you? 18 playing that year?
I think I was 18, 19, yeah.
18, 19, and just absolutely bossing every single game kind of thing. It was just ridiculous him coming in. I still remember you lumping in that lad in the Nationals though, when you get Aaron likes a good tackle. There was
no rules really in the NEIA, so to speak. It's like this organization, and I think the lad was 27 years old, and we done a scouting report, and he played pro and all this business, and he played number 10, and I was a 6. And Alan goes to me here, the first time he touches the ball, just clatter him. So I think he megs our left winger, cuts inside. I wait for him to he takes a heavy touch, so I slow down a little bit, waiting for a 50-50, and I absolutely clatter him. So honestly, it wasn't it was either a red card or a warning, and all it was is a warning. And for the rest of the game, he went out left wing.
Aaron just bossed it, and then obviously he moved on to Penn State after that, which was just like, it's a completely different level, and it's just, you'll tell about what is different, like Penn State wise. I went around a few D1 schools and had a look at places a couple of years ago, but what was it like there? How much? Obviously facilities at Kaiser compared to like what most people are like, they'd be like, it's decent. Like you've got physios, constantly, compared to universities over here, Kaiser's will be as good as most over here. But then you go to D1 and it's probably as good as going to fucking Man United kind of thing. It's ridiculous.
I would honestly put the big D1 skills facilities would be probably better than a lot of the Premier League teams. Like we have absolutely everything. We have got like a full dietitianist. We've got like mental health stuff, like full-time coaches. The facilities have our own gym. We have our own contrast baths. We have everything you need is a phone call away, and we have a stadium that holds like probably 7,000 people too. So it's for college, you think it's night and day. Even for Kaiser, what does like probably 1,200 students at Kaiser University. Penn State is 50,000. So you're walking to class and you don't know. You're seeing new faces every single day, which I really enjoyed.
As an expression of how good the facilities are, when United do pre-season, they go to UCLA, don't they?
Yeah.
UCLA hosted at the same time a few years back. Real Madrid and Manchester United were both at the same place, and there was not a schedule fuck up or anything. It could house Real Madrid and United, and they're like, yeah. And do you know what? They probably didn't stop any of their sports either at the same time. They just like, oh yeah, just use that pitch.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. UCLA is definitely up there as well, with one of the best facilities in the country. So it just goes to show you that being able to host two big clubs like that, it's definitely something like.
Are you on the radar for the Irish national team?
No, I've got to get a couple of appearances under my belt first for Portland, and then I can start thinking about that. But obviously, yeah, it's every kid's dream to be able to play for their country. Like,
is it doable from playing MLS?
I think so. There's a lad that recently joined Atlanta, Jake Mulraine, who I played a few five-a-sides with, and he was a year ahead of me up at Crumlin when I played in Ireland, and that's his goal. I've seen a couple of interviews with him, and he played for Nottingham Forest Academy, and he played for Hearts in the Scottish Premier League. So he definitely thinks it's doable as well, and he's been very, very close a couple of times.
He's got a chance.
Absolutely,
he's definitely got a chance. Did you win? Was it midfielder of the year last year for NCAA or for Big Ten?
Yeah.
Midfielder of the year, Big Ten, which is.
An All-American as well. Like it's a big deal sometimes. Yeah.
So he was flying in that, and I mean, mate, you want to see some of the goals. I mean, I've shown you some of the. He's number 6. Like, he doesn't score tap-ins.
No, I have seen some of the stuff that you've done because when we was thinking about coming over, do you know what? I'm gonna say last month in my head. It don't feel like last month. It feels like about 6 months ago. We was planning on heading to do. It was going to be essentially 4 quarters of America. We was going to go to Portland and go and see Aaron and interview Aaron. Check out a game at Timbers. We was going to head down to LA, catch. I think it was LA and Philadelphia in LA, and spend a few days in LA and catch up with like. Ian Edwards, a comedian, and a couple of other people, do some media and podcasts and shit while we was there. Head over to Miami and watch the opening game for Beckham's team, and then come home and absolutely smash it. Essentially, that was the plan. And sponsor pulled out last minute, very last minute, or they didn't pull out. Actually, they tried to change it last minute, and was like, oh, forget it.
Yeah.
But that was the plan. So that's obviously I have seen quite a fair bit of what you're up to and all the rest of it, but it's mad to think that people from Europe, from UK and Ireland are heading over there and going having a big impact. I do remember from when I was many moons ago when I was young that there was people looking at scholarships and things like that. I think Ben actually was looking at a scholarship at one point to go to America, but because the MLS at the time, because obviously this predates Beckham going over there, the MLS at the time just wasn't considered viable for people. It wasn't really taken up as a serious option for people. Would you say for 16, 17-year-olds that haven't managed to grip an academy over in the UK or Ireland now, a valid route could be get over to America, get some. I mean, I'm sure the training is elite level, and try and get the MLS route and do that.
Absolutely. I mean, like you have to do 4 years of college, and if you're good enough, you can leave early. Like for myself, I actually played a year pro in Ireland, played a lot of games for Drogheda, but I don't think I was mentally mature or physically mature enough to take it to the next level, and I really wanted to go to the States. I wanted to further my education, because the more out of school I was, the more I realised how important it was. So it took me a year out of school to realise how important education was. So being able to play at a high level and play football at a high level too was a no-brainer for myself. So I would definitely recommend it, and like if I had the same opportunity when I was younger, I'd do it 10 times over. So it's something that I definitely would recommend to young lads.
You think moving away gives you a chance to grow up as well? And take
absolutely. There's a few stories I could tell you about not being able to cook, clean, use the washer, YouTube bringing me mass. So I think like when I first moved over at 18, 19, I was immature, and my ma did a lot for me. So then being able to just go straight into the deep end and having to grow up and look after yourself was very eye-opening to me. So it made me realize how lucky I am to have me ma. That does everything for me even more.
Sunday in the comments says that's what I'm doing right now. I'm playing D1 college soccer in the US. Where? You're going to have to tell us that now. You can't.
There we go.
And you're going to have to.
Yeah,
we're going to go scout you and see what the crack is. If you've got any questions,
well, it's like there's the levels and stuff. Is you can. There's a school if you play at any decent standard for probably any sport. There's a school that'll get you, and it's a good little. I mean, Aaron went in. I think. I mean, you went into Kaiser. You could have probably done straight into D1 stuff. But was it eligible? I don't know. Eligibility and stuff made it. And things like that just made it easier. And also obviously with Al there helped out and stuff. But it's just like, you can go in there early and you can go and play in these different places, completely different level, and then move on from there. I think it's a good Michigan State. Is that in for you?
Yeah. I played against Michigan State. They're in our conference in our league, so actually huge skill as well. Very good. They have a very good coach, very good squad.
Hang on, do that mean he plays at the big house?
No, that's Michigan.
I
believe.
Okay. This is obviously the difference. Aaron says, Luke says, is Aaron a United fan? I assume so, but missed the start. Yeah, that's part of the reason why we've brought him on. It's a chat United about it.
Absolutely.
Joe, I can't believe I'm going to do this, but I'm going to have to do it. So I'm going to get rinsed with a might as well be Celtic, but he's paid a super chat, so fuck it. And he's got a question for Aaron, so we're bringing it up. Really enjoy your guys' content. Keep up the work. Aaron, who would you say the best footballer you've played with and against is?
The best player I probably played with would probably be just this pre-season, probably Diego Valeri for Portland Timbers. I think he's got up to 75 goals and assists in the MLS for Portland Timbers. He's Argentinian, got a couple of caps with the Argentinian national team, and this guy, he plays number 10, and he's just so graceful with the football. Like everything he does just looks like it comes natural and easy to him. And players I've probably played against, there's been a lot actually. Probably in college, I would say this lad who actually plays for Portland Timbers right now, his name's Eric Williams. He was a US men's national team, and he was a midfielder, and I played against him, and he ran the show. So two lads actually that play for Portland, who I'm lucky enough to train with every day.
Portland's the sort of team that's usually in and around going for the MLS Cup, isn't it?
Yeah. I think 2018 they got to the final. 2015 they won the overall thing, and every year they make playoffs. So they hold themselves to a very high standard and very good players. And I mean, every year is the goal to win the MLS Cup.
Right, we need to talk about Harry Kane, seeing as though that was the thumbnail. Alex, what was the news?
The Guardian have pulled something out today saying that due to, let me read United are withdrawing their transfer strategy due to financial uncertainty caused by coronavirus. They've accepted they aren't able to buy a striker as expensive as Harry Kane, who would cost around 150 million quid, which, to be honest, it's a lot of money, that, isn't it? And whether there's coronavirus or not, I think spending 150 million pound on Harry Kane would be chaos, right? I don't think he's worth that kind of fee. I think he's definitely got to be looking. If you could get him for under 100 million, I mean, he's going to score you goals, whatever. But 150 million pounds a lot for a lad that this season's just been. I mean, he's hardly played, has he, with injuries and stuff? I think it's a massive risk for doing that. So I don't know. I don't think it's. And my only worry with that kind of statement coming out is that, United have been used to this for a while and stuff, where they start drip feeding stuff saying market's difficult and things like that. Whether this is kind of the start of things coming out that we might not be able to do the business that everyone's expecting us to do this summer. And that's my only worry with this kind of thing. You've seen it in the past where, last summer you needed 5 or 6 players and we ended up with the 3 we got. Whether that would be the same this summer, where you're going to look at Sancho, you're going to look at midfielders and things like that. But it's whether this is starting to be the drip feed of we might not get everyone. That's the worry.
Is it, or is it just the pure, like we said, just common sense? Oh, Saunders replied actually, and he says Norwegian-born United fan playing at Michigan State. We'll do anyone that plays any level like that, we'll do a shirt swap with you. We'll send you a Paddock one with your name on if you send us one of yours.
Yeah, there you go.
So I think you bang on. Wasting 150 million on Harry Kane is 3 very good or 2 world class players, and I don't think you go with that. I don't know. Yeah, let's get Aaron in trouble. Aaron, what do you reckon?
There we go. Now I'm actually a big fan of Harry Kane.
Here we go. We're getting the fucking stock answers now, aren't we? Media.
No, honestly,
I've been a big fan forever. Actually,
it's. I feel like he's at least 20 goals a season type of player. And obviously with Rashford being, I feel like having a lot of that on his back, being a young player. I think it'd be good to have someone in who'll be able to help him. You know what I mean? Just Rashford can play out wide, he can play up top. Same with Martial. So being able to have a threat with coming from wings, midfield with Bruno right now, and obviously with Harry. I mean, United's used to scoring goals, 5-6 goals a couple of years ago every game. So getting that back, I think, is very important.
I think his price is fundamentally an issue, and I also think his fitness could come into it. Once players start to decline, it doesn't. Zlatan's the only exception to this, and I don't even know if he really declined. But like generally, once you hit 30, strikers never really start improving their goal numbers, apart from Zlatan, who just Zlataned it up a little bit. But when it comes to what Harry Kane's doing, the injuries could really start to take toll and really start to hamper him, I think. And going in with 150 million, there's no resale on that. That's you just going, we're here now for whichever contract it is, and we're gonna, if you sold him, it'd be a Berbatov style loss. The figures might not be the same. We sold Berbatov for 2 million after buying him for 30 a few years later. It'd be a similar thing if you moved Harry Kane on past 30, you're getting 10-20 million for him after spending 150 on him. I don't think it'd make sense at all. Kay Brennan in the comments saying injury concerns. I think Kane could have peaked, to be honest.
I think if he came in, I think he'd do very well. I think he'd definitely score. I think there you go.
Thanks, Nanny, tuning in.
I think he definitely score goals. I think there wouldn't be a problem with that. But it's keeping him fit, and then a price tag makes a massive difference on some of these players. And I think the 150 million is just way too much. I think that, and Tottenham, you're not going to get a bargain out of them because Levy's he's one of them. He'll want some kind of record for that kind of signing. He did it with Gareth Bale. I don't see him do anything else. But
Aaron, do you want to answer that one?
Yeah.
I actually played against Dundalk when Kenny was the manager. I had just a brief conversation with him, nothing too much, but he's a great guy, fantastic coach. But yeah, it's definitely something that I'd look into. I'm not sure the chances would be good if he knows if I'm even over here, but hopefully I'll be on his radar in the next couple of years.
Wait, can we actually impact something here? Can we just go full on Molloy agenda and just anytime some shit needs sharing, just have it?
Get Aaron Molloy a call up. That's all we need.
There you go.
Next international friendlies, he needs to get.
Right. All I know is at international tournaments, the Green Army is one of the absolute best that's out there at international tournaments. And if we need an excuse to go and follow someone at an international tournament, I don't think we could do very bad to be following Aaron and Ireland. Yeah. So I think there's a hidden agenda for us here, and that's for us to go on the piss. And like most of America, pretend to be Irish.
Here we go.
We can do that, can't we?
Absolutely.
So we'll start putting a few things in and then go from there. A few tweets out there, get him a call up. Mm-hmm. Start sharing them the highlight.
Anytime we see anything, just share the shit out of it.
I love that.
Like full on agenda. We're having that. Junior in the comments saying Aubameyang's too old. Stick with the Gallo. Aubameyang's another one that's been brought up, isn't it? Do you think he's in a too similar mold to Rashford and Martial, or?
No, I think he's got a bit more goal scoring. He's got that. He'll score the ugly goals a bit more than I think them two lads will, which I think is one thing that always brought Igalo in for that kind of reason. Aubameyang's a weird one because if you could get him in for a reasonable fee, I don't know whether, but he's coming into his last year of his contract, so they're going to need to make a decision, Arsenal, this and whether they think that throwing all the money at him is the right thing or not. But it would be quality if we got another player out of there that was the RVP kind of thing to push us over the edge to get us them goals. And I think he'd definitely be that kind of player coming in. It would break Martial, and I think that's Martial gone if you brought someone like that in. I think you bring Harry Kane in. I think that's gone. So Aubameyang would definitely do that, and he's still got a little bit long term in this because they're older players, and Martial's still only 22, 23. Is he 22, 23? He's still very young. So it's like
a bit older than that, I think, 24, 25.
But still, it's a young. You'd have to shift him on. I think that would be the only way that one of them two gets into the team. But again, it's one of those signings that I don't know whether next summer's going to be the one where you need it, where you need that last push over the edge. I think that the way Van Persie came in, that team just needed that one little spark to that team to win in the league. That's all they were missing. I think we're way off that yet. And I think gambling this summer on someone like that is probably...
That's an interesting question. I'm going to throw this to the audience. Oh, before I do, actually, Seraphex in the comments, he says lots of homegrown players that have bags of potential and no opportunities or facilities to fulfill it. First big team to exploit that league will have lots of talent on his hands. Which league? Because that could be MLS or, is it League of Ireland? Is it called?
I reckon that's League of Ireland because there's a lot. I mean, Aaron will know more about this, but there's a lot of players there that it's not the same. Facilities aren't the best, are they?
Yeah.
And
we were actually trying this place called Mosney where they keep a lot of people were like, no, when they come over to the country without a visa or anything like that, so they put them in this area.
Like a detention centre.
Basically, yeah. So we actually had no training facility properly at Drogheda, but our stadium was one of the best in the country. Like the grass was perfect. The stadium held a couple of thousand people, even more, but the training facility wasn't great.
Oh, we're all wrong. You meant the Gibraltar Premier League.
Oh, that's a whole different conversation. I have no idea about that.
I think we'll stick to League of Ireland, to be honest. I don't know how big the Premier League is, to be honest.
Because in my head, I was thinking, I think you're right. I think League of Ireland just being so close to England and all the riches that you've got in the Premier League and in the Championship. If someone sort of like adopted an Irish club, it's a backdoor into Europe. It's like there's loads of little things that you could do, and it's half an hour away for the most part. Gibraltar, that's a different story. And obviously, I thought MLS was another idea as well, in terms of like, that's a good proving ground potentially for talent before it comes into Europe. But yeah, I thought that was a mad one. I honestly did not see Gibraltar coming out of there whatsoever. That didn't fit in my head at all.
There you go. Richie Terrell in the comments right there. Dublin is red. That's me granddad right there. Big Man United supporter tuning in.
It is red, but is it Irish? Is it Liverpool red or is it?
Nah. Man United red. Don't say that. You give him a heart attack.
Because I know they've both got a big old following out there, haven't we? I just saw another comment before. Actually, I'm going to find it. It was from Cam. Actually, did you play any youth internationals like 23s, 21s, 19s, etc.?
Oh, he went to an Irish camp. I think it was U18s, and they brought in like 20, 24, 25 players. So what they did was actually funny. The Euros were coming up, and they played like their first team against our second team in a game at the end of the week. And I was on the second team, and we played the first team in the game, 60 minutes, I believe, and we won 3-1. I scored. I done well. Hoping to be picked for the Euros, but it just didn't happen. But I think the lads went on and done really well. So good for them.
Internationals can often be a case of if your face fits as well, can't it? I see so much, and I'll be honest, I've been like a benefit of it playing rugby. One of my coaches ended up as the England coach at rugby, and miraculously 4 players from our team ended up in there. I think you get a lot of if your face fits sort of thing, doesn't it? Or maybe it's less of if your face fits and it's more of who they actually know, because it's probably really difficult to know 300 players across a single country. Mm-hmm. Keep getting your questions in, everybody. I think Ronan's just asked basically the same sort of question.
Yeah, I was actually. Yeah, they had this emerging talent. So I was from the north side, and the emerging talent had a north side and south side version, and I was playing with Crumlin at the time, which was a south side team. So every Monday night I used to have to get the bus an hour and a half away, and Well, basically the emerging talent is you train, you play games on a Monday, game every couple of weeks, but it's all run by the FII coaches. So it'd be U16 and U18, and it'd be the U18 Ireland coach that would run and like participate in sessions, so they actually have a look at you. So yeah, I was part of the emerging talent team for a year when I was U17s.
There was another question here. Yeah, that one there. How much does Gaelic try and shadow football in Ireland?
Nah, I haven't really seen much. I think I only seen a little bit of Gaelic in West Palm Beach, but I never actually went and played. But yeah, it's good to see that there's still lads out there playing a little bit down in Florida.
What back in Ireland? What's the impact of Gaelic versus regular football? What's bigger?
All my friends, I went to a Gaelic school, so I actually speak fluent Gaelic. So all my friends that grew up in that household, they all played the sport, and even at school, if you were anyway athletic, you were playing whether you liked it or not. I went to a really small school, so I mean, no one complained. I got you out of class. But yeah, I used to play a lot. Used to play a lot in school. Used to get in trouble a lot because I never picked up the ball. I used to just dribble with the ball on the ground. Like I get clattered, no foul or nothing. So it's pretty aggressive. But yeah, I've definitely played when I was younger.
Taylor says, "Are you in Football Manager?" It won't be yet, will it? Because the MLS draft came after the update.
Yeah. No, I'm not in. I was in FIFA a couple of years ago, and they used the wrong picture, which is kind of funny. It's actually chatting to a.
Why was you in FIFA?
I played pro a few years ago when I was 18.
Oh, when you was League of Ireland.
League of Ireland, I was, yeah. And then it was funny because they had everything right. They had me as a midfielder. They had the boots I wore, date of birth, everything, but they used the wrong picture. I was fuming. I was.
There's some possibly slanderous tweets coming your way here.
There we go. Dara. Nah. I went to a full Gaelic school since I was 4. So I grew up in like a rough area in Dublin, and my mum wanted me to go to a school where I wouldn't be in as much trouble as I got into. So, are you a better footballer than your dad? Just give me 2 more years.
That's quite good to see.
I mean, if his argument is put your medals on the table. So
tell me fuck off. There
you go. No, I can't be saying that. So no, I'll give you a couple of more years. He actually something that I can't retrieve. He has a 3rd place World Cup medal at home from the U21's World Cup. He went when he was 19. There was a couple of injuries. I think Robbie King got injured, and so he scored a couple of goals in Malaysia when he was 19. And so yeah, he's definitely been a big influence on me playing football.
Here's a question from Cam. Actually paying attention for once.
He's asking good questions. Are you worried?
Yeah. Is someone else logged in? Is this Callum?
It must be Callum.
Because he doesn't know football, so it's not Callum. What sort of program are you on, considering the season's postponed? Guessing you've been given a regime.
Yeah, we have. Yeah, we use this app called the Bridge app. Monday to Saturday is different workouts. It's basically the workouts we do in pre-season. So like out running almost every day, take the day off on Sunday, and then like we'd have a game on the weekend. So it's just like really light stuff on the weekend, and then Monday to Friday we'd go hard. But it's pretty good. They're on top of everything here over in Portland.
What sort of facilities? I've gone out of focus. What sort of facilities have you got available to you at the moment where you are?
They actually sent us out some bikes. So as soon as this went off, they sent us out some indoor bikes. They sent us some skipping ropes. They sent us some kettlebell weights, football. So like everything we needed to keep fit. Basically, we're not trying to get fit, or we're trying to maintain what we were like, because I think we are pretty fit. So that's the goal right now, is just maintaining fitness as this coronavirus takes its toll.
I spoke to a couple of lads in England, about 3 different lads actually, and one over in Germany. The lad over in Germany's got a running track next door to him.
There you go.
And with a pitch in the middle of it, which is public access. So he's absolutely laughing, and he said he's doing as much as he can, and he's got people he lives with he can go and play with. I spoke to Matty Willock. Obviously, remember Matty for nearly getting a debut. He was on the United bench for weeks and weeks and weeks, and Jose just never fucking brought him on. His brother obviously plays for Benfica, and his other brother plays for Arsenal. they all live together. So he was saying it's quite competitive in their house. Like they can have good training sessions between the three of them, and everyone can stay in good nick. And who else was I chatting to? Just say one of the English lads that left United a couple of years ago, and he's a couple of leagues down now, and he said he's got basically like a full gym in his house, so he's just doing whatever he can do in his house. So it's interesting listening to what people are actually trying to do, and it does feel like cardio and weights is that much. Are you doing any sort of ball work at all?
Yeah, it's actually part of the regime as well. They gave us a football, and up the road here, where I lived, there's like a wall, like go kick about at. But there was actually a football pitch probably a mile away, and we used to go. We probably went 4 or 5 times a couple of weeks back, and then the police came and told us to get off. Obviously, you're not allowed to be. They had a little gate that you can literally just step over and head in, but they said it was private. It was a little bit annoying just trying to get touches on the ball. Like there wasn't a whole lot of us, probably 4 or 5 of us, just trying to get a session in. So that scrapped.
What's the situation with the lockdown over there? Portland's quite a big city, isn't it?
Yeah. We're actually lucky enough in Oregon that it hasn't broken out too bad, considering what it's like in California and New York. Obviously, it's trouble everywhere, but it seems to be taken care of pretty seriously over here right now.
Right. Any more questions for anyone? Just bang them in the comments.
Have the MLS said anything about you getting back going again? Have they put anything out recently about when you're going to get playing or anything like that? And
no, the players' union they have a thing an update every couple of weeks, and it just keeps pushing back. Because I think clubs, they rely on games obviously to gain financial stability, like money and stuff. So I think there's some clubs that are really, really pushing to get the games in, even if it's last minute. So they haven't fully had an answer just yet. So
Mina says, you're excited to come up against ex-Reds like Chicharito. And Nani's still there as well. Or is he back over?
Nani is,
yeah. Right now I'm with the Portland Timbers second team, so that's who I signed for. I'm training with the first team every day, and there's a plan to get me up as soon as possible to the first team. It's one of the big reasons I stayed, and I really love Portland as well. So they've shown me a lot of love basically. So that's the goal. Now I've got a couple of years to get that. So I'm excited and love to play against the Nani Chicharito. So it'd be a dream come true.
Have you started your podcast yet?
I haven't. Me and my girlfriend, we had a trial run yesterday. Got all the equipment, the mic, the camera, the tripod, the everything. I got everything sorted. So it's looking like hopefully in the next week or so I'll have content. My roommate actually played in the MLS for a couple of seasons, scored a couple of goals. So it's someone good to start off with. So I'm excited to get it going.
What are you going to be talking about on the podcast?
So first of all, it's called Kicking and Streaming. So what I'm going to be talking about is I want to have like informal conversations with footballers, basically past, present, professional, amateur, and I want to talk about their success and hardship and what got them to this point. If I motivate or inspire one kid to never give up on a dream, then I feel like it's a success for me. So it's something that I've considered a couple of months now, and I finally, this time it means I got time in my hands, so there's no excuse. So I finally went ahead with it. So I'm excited to get it up and running.
All right. Well, when you do get it up and running, we'll get you back on and give it a big old plug and get loads of people over to subscribe to it. But best of luck for when the season comes back. I think we might have just found our MLS team, Al.
I think so. Yeah, I think Timbers is one of them. We need to do a pre-season though. I think West Palm pre-season there'll be a
there you go. Nothing like it.
I think Dustin was in the comments before. He said whether the Paddock lads would go out and do all right over there. I said, I think we do all right over there with facilities. Let's say facilities would be perfect for our Sundays anyway. Sunday facilities.
I remember I was doing Alan sorting me out with doing some refereeing on the side on the
Sunday League.
The Sunday League, 7-a-side, and I was the referee. Sometimes I was hungover showing up to it, you know what I mean? It was a Sunday in the off season, and I had I'd be refereeing Alex's games. I didn't give him a call one day, and he shouted. He got a little kick in the shins and just gave up. He was like, "Get up, Bowder, go and get the ball back." I shouted back at him. It was a bit of laugh.
I think we'll leave that there. I'm going to ask Cam what he means by that question a little bit later on. But cheers for everyone tuning in. Go check Aaron out over on Instagram. Are you on Twitter as well?
Yeah, just Aaron Molloy 18 on Twitter.
And on Instagram, it's
Aaron Molloy 10.
Just confuse everyone, mate. It's all right.
Sorry, yeah.
We've got the kicking and streaming links. So we can whack it into. We'll put it into the description.
Sound. I really appreciate it.
Right, cheers for tuning in. Go and make sure you follow him. And like I said, we'll get him on once his podcast is up and running. And obviously, we'll throw a big load of support behind him because we want to see him in the Ireland squad, just so he can go for a piss up. Let's be honest.
Here we go.
Because that home debut that he gets in Dublin, we are fucking on it like Donkey Kong. Right. See you all in the morning. Back for the news later.
All right. Thanks, lads.
That didn't work. That worked. As if he dipped.